So, with the release of Isle Weaver, we have been given Oraxia. Oraxia is the first edition of a spider frame. I'd say she's quite nice. She's very fun. She's a mix between a caster frame and a weapons platform for a few reasons. Her 4 ability will give you innate toxin on your weapons, and her 2 will give you damage vulnerability on abilities and weapons, while her 1 and 3 can be seen as more of a support tool, where her 3 will spread toxin on enemies that you kill who have been touched by it, spawn you little spiders that help you around. And her 1, if the enemy is low enough, is an execute that will give you health on kill, as well as give you the ability to just insta-kill an enemy who is low enough, which is quite nice, and it affects everything from an Expos unit to certain things like a Necromech that you can find out in the wild. Her passive is wall latching, so whenever you attach to a wall, you're able to go invisible and gain increased damage, so Arcane Arachne is very, very good on her. Now, one downside to her 4 is that it does not affect Incarnon weapons, so if you're in your Incarnon, you are not getting the effect of it, which isn't that bad, but these are just basic enemies, and as you see, you're even able to execute that enemy. But these are basic enemies. I'll see you when an Acolyte is here. All right, and an Acolyte is spawning in. So another thing is her 1 does indeed act like a Parazon. So whenever you press it, you do get Parazon effects, which is unbelievably useful for how her passive works and how come she is a little bit energy hungry. So what you could do is build into that whole issue. Oh, this is the one Acolyte that makes it hard to showcase abilities because they disable them. But she, beforehand, it did do some good damage. And you've seen what it can do on all the enemies around you. I mean, look at this. It even affects Coda weapons. I'm still applying Viral, the Cold, and I'm getting innate toxin on my weapon as well as normal damage. So nice. But I will see you in the Simulacrum, where I can showcase her a little bit better, since it's a more controlled area, and show you the builds. So I'll see you in the Simulacrum. Here we are back in the Simulacrum. So a few of the things I wanted to bring up is the fact that her passive is a little finicky for one reason. When you wall latch, you'll gain invisibility for 8 seconds, but also that wall latching, it has to be in line of sight. If you do it and then move out of line of sight, you'll get stuck on a thing. But if you just hit space, you'll fix, or whatever the jump key is for your respective settings. Secondly, when it comes to how her 1 works, Mercy's Kiss, the health orb and energy drop does scale based off of power strength. But another thing that it technically takes into account, which may be a bug, is your Parazon mod. Depending on your Parazon mod, you may or may not be able to take advantage of this. I've been able to take advantage of it with Blood for Life and Power Drain. So whenever you get a Mercy kill, more health orbs will drop, and on Power Drain, you'll gain 50% ability strength on the next one. So what I tend to do is I will get an enemy low, Power Drain, then press 4, so that you can get a 50% increase in your damage on top of your not Mercy's Kiss, on top of your Silken Stride. That just gives you even more toxin damage on the front of it, more wall latch damage, and etc. Now, how have I built her? I built her with 1 Amber Archon Shard. I might Talforge this in the end, and 1 Talforge Violet Archon Shard, so I don't have to use Equilibrium. It's a very nice change and very useful. Her build is very bog standard for me, but you can change it how you see fit. I have growing powers so that I gain more ability strength whenever I cause status effects, which is always because her 4 gives you toxin, and most weapons have some form of element on them. I'm using Blind Rage for ability strength and negative efficiency, Archon continuity because since I'm applying toxin, I might as well apply corrosive as well. This allows you to build into armor stripping with her toxin procs with 2 emerald shards built into that, so that your corrosive at 4 stacks will armor strip, but it's not necessary and you'll see why. Augur message reach and secrets for strength, range, and duration. Streamline to help my efficiency out. Stretch for more range helps out her too, and prime flow for more energy. We have Arcane Kamisado for the summons to give me more, on my next ability cast, I gain even more ability strength, and the movement speed of the little spiders are faster now. And Arcane Arachne, so on wall latch, I gain 150% damage to my primary weapons and secondary weapons. Now, how do her abilities look now? So box standard, these are the numbers. Not bad. Now with my mods, we now have a sadly 31 drain, but you get 8,920 damage on toxin, round that up to about 9k. Her webbed embrace is now 111% damage vulnerability, and this does indeed stack with Sentient Wrath from Caliban. So if you want to mix them, do it. It's very good. I'd replace her 3 with it because her 1 gives you energy and health, so it's very nice. That's why I don't have Energize. Her Widow's Brood is very nice. Downsides to it, though, the angle. In my opinion, I think it has some issues with hitting some targets, and I have seen it actively miss. So I don't know if it has good tracking or if it's just able to miss naturally. And it's just nice. Finally, with her Silken Stride, which gives her the ability to crawl along the floor and wall latch, you'll get 89% extra damage. This used to not be working. They patched it, and now it's even stronger. The drain isn't that bad, especially if you mix it in with how I have made Mercy's Kiss work. And on top of that, the max health bonus is so nice. It's amazing. You go from like 675, depending on what you're at. I think I'm at 1600. So good. The range is nice, so you get to fly really far, and the explosion damage is based off the kill you get with it, so it's even better. Now I'll showcase how this all functions in the simulacrum and give you my thoughts on Oraxia as a caster frame and a weapon platform. So I have spawned in some level 195 Orcan enemies to showcase how each one of her abilities works. So first, let's showcase how her one works. The way her one works is when an enemy is at 50% of their HP, they will get this icon above them that allows you to mercy kill them. When that happens, she will produce a health and energy orbs, which scale off power strength, and with Blood for Life, you'll get even more health orbs. The way her 2 works is when you cast it down, all the enemies in that range of your circle, which is, depending on the color, easy to see, will become webbed, which allow you to do even more damage and speed up, well, how quick you can mercy kill them to make even more energy and more orbs. The way her 3 works is it will target the enemies in front of you and stick to them. Now that they have been poisoned, when they die, you'll spawn a Scuttler. When that Scuttler spawns, it can scale off of the enemy level. I believe at one point it was not. You have a maximum of 10 of these, and thanks to Arcane Kamisato, they are much faster at doing their job, so you get the benefit out of them, which is very useful. Finally, with her 4, when you press your 4, you will gain innate toxin damage on all your weapons unless you have procced an Incarnon, and that allows when you kill an enemy to make them explode. And when you press now your roll key, in my case it is shift, you will do a string tether to the area, and if you hit a wall like this, you're able to go invisible and do even more damage, which does stack with Arcane Arachne. As you see, the explosion damage scales also off the range and is so strong. I mean, look at that. You are still able to roll, slide, well, not roll, but you're able to dash like this and still crawl around things. The only thing you can't do is climb on walls. Once you're on the wall, it kind of just, you're stuck there. But say you didn't want to do the wall latching thing, you can just press space while hugged against the wall like this, and you will go invisible and keep proccing Arcane Arachne and your passive buff of getting more damage and invisibility. So I think she's quite strong, quite powerful, and strong against healthy enemies that Toxin can proc. Only thing is, her Scuttlers do die quickly, but they're easy to get back just by pressing 3 and killing more enemies. Let's head back to the back rooms, and I'll give you my final thoughts on her and how you acquire her. Here we are in the Dorma Zone instead of the back rooms because this is where you can actually acquire her. I know my place looks really bad because I didn't really care to put anything in here. There's no foundry, so I didn't stay. Dalmanus Thorax is here in your Dorma Zone, sitting in a corner where there's some grass. All you have to do is, when doing the Operation 8 Claw in the Isle Weaver tab in Duviri, is you'll return to Dominus Thorax and return Scuttler Husks. When you return Scuttler Husk, you're able to acquire her systems, neuroptics, chassis, and her blueprint. Each one for 20, except her blueprint is 60. You can also acquire these from doing the operation at a chance, but you are also able to get any of these weapons here and their parts, as well as some Enigma Gyrum. You're able to get that as well. These sadly are not able to be acquired from the event, but you can buy them for 25 each. It's not bad, good price. Overall, when it comes to how Oraxia is and how she functions, I think she is a very good frame and worth the acquisition. Is she anything like Sight? Sadly, no. I think Sight is a little bit better of a weapons platform, personally, purely because of how he functions overall. But I think Oraxia has her own place in how she plays, with being a really good support, with how her toxin applies to weapons, her webs being able to make enemies more vulnerable to damage, easier to kill, her spiders being a good distraction because enemies do target them as well, and her one being able to make a ton of energy and health orbs. I think it's a little bit better than Varuna's ability. Overall, she's really good. I'd say top of A, maybe nearing S if she gets a little bit more help. Due to how energy hungry she is, you have to build around it. Hence why I have a purple Archon shard on her. but she is still worth the grind. If you guys want to see more things like this, do expect to see her weapons in the coming videos. I already have them crafted. I'm leveling them up right now. I really, really like the secondary. The secondary is so good. But I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.